There are few things that can happen when you make the commitment to yourself to follow your heart, to follow Spirit's guidance, to tune out the outside world of who everyone around you might think you should be or think you should follow. And some of those things that can happen can bring up a lot of resistance, and I wanted to bring some of those things to your attention in case you might be dealing with some of them. So the first thing I would say is the temptation to go back to who you were and old habits, old conditioning that you had before you started committing to yourself and your own inner guidance. And that could come up because it just feels safer to do that than to go against the grain sometimes. But I can tell you from experience that playing it safe isn't as safe as you think it is. In fact, it can hold you back for years if you let it. But again, there's no, like with everything else, there's absolutely no judgment if you decide that playing it safe is the way you want to go. If you want to go back to who you were, or old habits, or old ways of thinking before you made the commitment to yourself to follow your heart, then that's perfectly okay. In fact, you might go back and forth for a while. I know I did for a long time, and it's perfectly okay. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to criticize you. And that brings me to my next point, which is there is going to be a lot of criticism and people who don't understand not only what you're doing, but why you're doing it. And that could cause you to doubt yourself, and it could cause you to want to give up whatever it is that you're doing that you know is good for you. It could make you want to go back to people pleasing if that was a habit that you engaged in, because as empaths, we don't want to upset anybody. We don't want to step on toes. But if we continue to allow that resistance in, then we kind of start to lose ourselves in the process, and we tend to not fulfill our own needs and our own desires. And not that we can disconnect from our own inner guidance, but it creates that illusion of disconnect from spirit, from our own guidance, from our own souls. And that ultimately will not lead you to where you want to go. Another thing that could happen when you start to commit to yourself and your own inner guidance, and you may have found this, that life seems to just throw curveballs at you and things start to not get in the way, but yeah, I guess it is kind of like getting in the way. Things will come up, and things will always come up. So what I would say is deal with whatever life things that you can. Don't push those away just because you're committed to following your heart, but try to find a balance. I know that's easier said than done, but it's important for your sanity. I hope that this helped in some way. I'm sending you so much love and many blessings.